Hello, my name is Javier Andrés Esquivias Varela, and I will present the paper Industrial Safety Analysis of a Workstation in the Paradigm of Industry 4.0 presented at SILOB 2020. Introduction. Industry 4.0 requires a uniform standard model for the review of the use of biometric identification devices. Technological advancement has been giant, so the evolution of this biometric identification equipment day by day is greater. Today, the use of this type of technology is something that we see in our daily life, and we even use it with high frequency, from cell phones with easy recognition, fingerprint recognition, voice recognition, etc. The study aims to analyze the different biometric security access equipment currently on the market. We can determine which of them has better performance in both hardware and software, as well as its efficiency in the analysis of the data captured by the equipment. At the same time, it will possible to make a cost versus efficiency comparison, and this will help future companies to make a quicker decision when making future purchase of biometric equipment. A study of small office working with the biometric identification team through the fingerprint showed that having a staff of 30 people, the false positives were null, and the system worked perfectly, but as the number of employees increased, the false positives began to appear, and this became so common that an older system had to be used through letters with codes. In this study, 10 variables will be considered, which cover different areas considered of high importance. Today, many sites require a high level of security that requires various features for the needs they have, such as the police service. They require different identification equipment to carry a criminal identification database. It is required in addition to analysis through the technique for order of preference by similarity to ideal solution, topis, to use a multi-criteria is based on the concept that the chosen alternative should have the shortest slope from the positive ideal solution, PIS, and the longest slope from the negative ideal solution. In the methodology of the study, several biometric security access needs were analyzed, which we interpreted in terms of functionality, efficiency, hygiene, and cost. The data collected with the different equipment allow us to make multi-criteria analysis in the order to generate the expected results. The basic points of the analysis used in the study are described below. Cost. The cost of biometric equipment is of high importance since it was mentioned above. These are mainly of interest to the industry sector, so large quantities are handled. This is why a balance between the advantage of the equipment with the price it has required. Safety. This variable considered to be one of the most important at the time of a comparison because the main objective of this biometric identification equipment is to have to more excellent safety either in the domestic area or in the industrial sector. Effectiveness. This aspect evaluates the stability of the equipment since this type of equipment are designed to be in an operation for long days, so it's of the utmost importance that the equipment presents the latest possible features along with minimal maintenance, which will ensure that the equipment is working properly. Speed. The main use of this equipment will be in the industrial sector. Many people on the day-to-day will use it and make this process as fast as possible, along with the reasonable accuracy is essential for workflows in industry. Hygiene. If you have physical contact with the equipment in a normal working day because it's used by the hundreds of people and this equipment is not constantly disinfected, it can become a possible danger to the company by the dispersions of some virus or bacteria. Availability. The market for biometric identification equipment is not fully open to the entire population, so this was considered an important aspect to evaluate either from purchasing the equipment to the installation and maintenance offered in this purchase. Social acceptances. Workers will use biometric identification equipment in the industrial sector because equipment must be non-invasive or somehow not within the proper ethics for some religions or beliefs of the different ideologies the society may have. Sample size. This equipment will be used by a lot of people who will have to store somewhere either on storage or in the cloud the data of each person. That is why you need to evaluate the size or weight that each sample that is used for the identification has. False positive. What we are looking here is to reduce that percentage as much possible. In case that meet a large amount of data, that percentage does not mean so many people, although we have a long way to go. We cannot that in some of the equipments that exist today. The proposed solution considered mainly three variables that considered of high importance. For this shows of biometric safety equipment, which is carried out utilizing multi-criteria analysis, that this is a tool that supports the decision-making process, facilitating the path to one direction or another. For the type of use, you will have depending on the user and the sector or the plan you have for the benefit of the biometric safety equipment is what's considered. The cost of biometric equipment. This feature is selected as both with the industrial sector and the domestic sector price is significant. The price has an important role in the decision between one team and another. The aim is not to find the cheapest equipment on the market, but the one with acceptable quality according to the intended use. Easy of use of biometric equipment. This variable is since because some biometric safety equipment requires some training to function entirely correctly. Hence, the learning curve for its use needs to be as simple as possible. Social acceptances of biometric equipment. Once the user enters the values mentioned above through a scale of Likert, an evaluation and comparison are made between the different computers stored in the database and the most appropriate or close to the values entered is selected and through a narrative script that will introduce us to the other equipment characteristics. An essential aspect to consider is the pollution or carbon footprint that you are leaving behind with each decision you make. The carbon footprint is born to quantify and generate an indicator of the impact that an activity or process has on climate change. Using the database was stored information provided by the companies responsible for manufacturing the biometric security equipment to provide actual data on the carbon footprints that they will generate using a specific equipment according to the hours and numbers of the days that will be in use. In this case of biometric safety equipment, it took the electricity to consume during the day-to-day use of this equipment was taken into account. It will be possible to reach a better decision of which equipment will be necessary. Therefore, we can obtain equipment with more efficiency readings and lower energy consumption. Although we are taking about minimum energy consumption, we add a lower impact on the carbon footprint at the industrial level. To calculate the footprint that teams, the following aspects were considered: number of equipments, days of use for work for week, hours of use per day. Conclusions. Based on the study, we can see that the ideal choice of biometric equipment is facial detection. However, we can also see that this system still has some technical flaws that will continue to be improved over time. It depends on the needs of companies. We cannot discard the other types of biometric systems in the market, since the decision at the end of the day will be taken by the company based on their study relevant of efficiency costs and the number of users who will be access to them. On the EN side, face detection equipment is the safest to choose since the user has no contact with the equipment, thus minimizing the risk of virus contagion to users and less maintenance of constant cleaning of their equipment. We live a continuous technology revolution day by day where we can find companies dedicated to creating security equipments with biometric readers. The commitment is reflected in finding more efficient data capture methods, such as the speed of data capture and the integrity of the readings to ensure efficiency in the equipment. We can also highlight that new equipment on the market seeks to minimize carbon footprints in the environment through the lower energy use of their equipment and they achieve better efficiency of their products. Future research. The technological revolution that we live in today is a challenge for the industry that seeks to position its products through more efficient equipment in the market. One of the challenges that arise is the storage of chips worldwide, since all biometric measurements equipment availability on the market depends on the theme, including an optical interface. At the same time, the security industry also seeks to minimize the carbon footprint of its product. We can leave an open space to study the analysis of the future equipment, looking for efficiency in data reading and its interconnection to the internet network, looking for complete devices and greater users by users. We can leave a parenthesis open in the context that the technological revolution is growing day by day, giving us the option to continue analyzing the best option available in the market. We are also not close to the idea of the technologies that may arise in the interpretation of biometric readings coming to the market. So we can understand that biometric security came to optimize security measures within industry and the domestic sector. Future studies leave open the opportunity to analyze haptic methods integrated into biometric security, which can study in the three main areas. Human haptics, which are the haptics related to the touch perceived by humans. Computational haptics, which is the software for touching and sensing by virtual objects. Haptic machines, which refers to the design and the use of machinery to augment or replace the human touch. Active feedback channels can be tactile sensations such as pressure, texture, temperature, and vibrotactile, etc. Thank you for your time. Presenter, Javier Andrés Esquivias Varela, Engineer Science PhD, Tecnológico Nacional de México, IT, Ciudad Juárez. Have a nice day.